tankinis, bikinis, monokinis. Walmart is the best kept secret for stylish summer swimwear. Make a splash with hot summer essentials like beach bags, sandals, and more. Find your style at Walmart.
Today's Man Camp episode gets very real and gets very raw. It contains graphic language, so viewer discretion is advised.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil house.
It's move-out day at Man Camp.
Calling Tara a bitch hurts her, so that's why I do it.
The anger.
You can't even get the out there.
That is more painful than getting hit.
The resentment.
How would she like it if you were out there taking all your stuff off and doing this with women?
Not only are you a dancer, you're having an affair, I'd be crushed.
I feel like I'm trash. I don't want to feel like that. I'm a good person.
Your relationship won't survive with you working as a stripper.
And
each of you are going to take a turn.
what had each member of Man Camp break down in tears.
It hurts. It hurts so bad.
Anger destroys you. It makes you want to destroy everything around you. I want everyone out. The wall's up. I want the wall down. I want you in.
An all-new Man Camp starts right now.
I haven't been happy in a long time.
Coming up. Let's do it. I want you to get excited about your life.
Here we go. In 10.
Stand by, camera 6.
If you're going to talk to me, you're going to have to be honest.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Showtime. This is going to be a changing day in your life. I'm taking people with real problems and moving them into the Dr. Phil house. I'm going to put you under a microscope. Need a camera here, need one here. I'm putting cameras everywhere to see what really happens behind closed doors. I am moving in with you. Today, we're continuing our Man Camp series. 3 couples who were yelling, screaming, getting physical, calling each other names, even having affairs, moved into the Dr. Phil house to save their marriages. Scott was the first husband to threaten to quit the show after we challenged him to walk in his wife's shoes and clean a messy house. Then, days later, John stormed out of the house and moved into a hotel after his wife accused him of lying to her mother. Both men ultimately moved back in and agreed to work on saving their relationships. From the beginning, it's been a challenging process for each husband and wife as they faced in-laws, confronted the other man, and most importantly, taken a good hard look at themselves. Before we continue, here's what's happened so far.
Tara and I have been together for about 4 years. Tara and I fight every day. Things have gotten physical between me and Tara before.
We've had the cops called on us.
Tara has beat up my truck. She's slashed 4 or 5 tires.
I'm with the Dr. Phil Show. We're here to send you out to Man Camp.
Man Camp.
My wife Amanda and I have been married for 5 years.
I'm a dancer at a go-go bar.
She was having an affair with another person. She says she's in love with him, but she's ready to leave.
I have 1 foot out the door.
We're about to take you to Man Camp.
Seriously?
Sherry and I have been married for 14 years. I'm an ass sometimes. I've had 2 or 3 affairs.
I don't have the backbone to stand up to him anymore. And I feel like there is no way out.
I'm here to take you to Dr. Phil's Man Camp.
It's time to get real. Your marriage is hellish. Your daughter is living in a hellish world. So she can go dance naked in front of a stranger and feel good, but she can't feel good with her own husband in her own home. You must be doing something way wrong. You an abuser?
I have in the past.
You have hit her.
Oh, yes. And it was just
You really don't want to work on your marriage. You're in love with somebody else. You turned yourself over to an abuser and you started making excuses. You started lying. You started covering, and you stood there like the little Stepford wife he wants you to be. Okay, husbands, take a look around. Dr. Phil house is a little messed up, and it's your job to clean it up before you move in.
Does your house ever look like this? You think mine has? Think I'd live here? I'd move the out and sell the house. I'm not playing this game.
Let me tell you something. For a guy that has run his relationship off in the ditch, it seems to me like you'd be looking for somebody else to be making decisions instead of you.
Well, for a guy that's supposed to help relationships heal themselves, it seems to me like you'd know what the was going on and explain to me how this helps.
You're not entitled to an explanation.
Take me home.
You're a Scotty. I'm done. You move my out while I'm gone.
Thanks, Dr. Phil.
Oh, it ain't Dr. Phil's fault, Scott. It's yours.
Take me to the airport.
My God, I was so convinced that you were gone.
You know, you're just used to being a bully.
I'm not a child.
You're acting like one. Why do you say you would do anything for him when you know that is absolutely unequivocally not true? You won't shut up. This other man, I want him gone. I'm going to bring him here, and you're going to tell him in front of me, it's over, get out of my life.
I would love her to be with me. Yes, that's correct.
Come straight forward and say, I will not contact you anymore.
I would ride a bike before I'd be a stripper.
I mean, you have the right to sit there and lecture me like you're my mother?
These people are so not understanding at all.
I've been at rock bottom.
I'm in the car going to see Dr. Phil. John, my son-in-law, does not know I'm here.
She's here.
Don't show that you're one person on the outside and a different person on the inside.
Okay, well, I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to try hard, and it's going to change.
It's going to change. You promise me that?
It's going to change. I promise you that.
I don't know if I believe it right
deserve to be
now.
happy.
I have to confront you about something. You were not sincere to my mom.
I can't believe this. I know you got feelings, but you know what? It's going too far. You know what? She needs to be in Hollywood because she's a actress from hell. I'm out of here. I don't need your mom to fly here to L.A. This is our relationship. I didn't start a fight. I didn't raise my voice. I did everything I was supposed to do.
I don't want to be without you.
Watch this with me.
That is so up what she just told me.
I'm getting scared now. I'm really getting scared.
You are very judgmental. In my opinion, you were wrong.
Barry, you're fixing to really piss me off, so why don't you shut your mouth?
Okay, yes,
If I wake up and I'm pissed off, I'm going to be just bitchy all day.
Blame it on something. Instead of you being a bitch.
I couldn't let you leave here tomorrow without us having a conversation about your anger. 'Cause I know you don't like it, and I know you don't like yourself when you're that way. I can see it at the time and afterwards. But what do you think's going on?
To me, it all stems back to the same thing. I don't have any peace in my life. I feel to myself that anger can be a good thing at times.
If you took anger out of your vocabulary and you said that anger is really just a safe expression of hurt, fear, or frustration.
Generally, it's going to be frustration. I think that what I expect of Tara is just not who she is.
You do have to adjust your expectations. You have the power to stop the turmoil.
So I'm here. Because you know how, and you can tell me, and I can do it.
A lot of people that rage as much as you do are physically violent. They beat their wives, they abuse their children, and you do neither. You're making a choice to go a certain distance, and then you stop.
It has nothing to do with that! That is not why we fight!
That verbal behavior is abusive. And many women will tell you that that is more painful than getting hit.
I've always been a really intense person, I guess. I don't really know if that has anything to do with why I always have to be at the ready, is what I feel like. You know, like a pit bull is always in a stance ready to do something. That's how I always feel all the time.
You've got a boundary that says I'm not going to hit her, and a boundary here that says I'm not just going to accept crap. So you got a wide range in there of rage and yelling and screaming. And I'm just saying that boundary needs to move back. You shouldn't accept things in your life you don't want, but you should work on them.
Okay.
All right, fair enough.
Thank you very much.
All right, good deal.
I can say right now that I'm never going to yell at you again.
But are you really going to?
But if I don't change the fact that when I want to yell at you, instead of yelling at you, I stop and say, hold on, sit down, and tell you to sit down, and we sit there and talk for a second. So, I'm absolutely 100%.
Have you learned a lot?
More than I thought I would. I am glad I stopped. I mean, you know, this is why I wanted to be here.
Coming up, Sherry and Tara corner Nick.
Nick, you're blaming this whole everything going wrong on yourself, and you need to not do that. You need to get some of that off your back, because it's not all your fault.
It's not you.
Plus, it's time to get answers.
Calling Tara a bitch hurts her. Well, that's why I do it.
Why do you think that Scott feels like he needs to go out and drink with his buddies?
We now return to Dr. Phil's man camp.
Sherry and Tara never made it a secret that they didn't approve of Amanda's job as an exotic dancer. In fact, they couldn't understand why Nick didn't have more of a problem with it, so they decided to confront him alone without Amanda.
Just between me, you, and Sherry, I know that you have issues with her working there. There's got to be something in your mind while she's there.
Oh, there was.
Do you trust her right now?
I do.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nice.
It's that easy for you to gain her trust?
I want to trust her.
You don't think that she has to earn it?
You are letting this go over so easy that she's going to think next time, I'll do it, and he's just going to get over it just like that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Don always tells me, you got to earn trust.
And you do. That's something that you have to earn.
Because I hide things from him because I'm afraid to tell him.
You need to earn it. Sometimes you just need to know when to give it. Like a guy looking at her, okay, go ahead and look. But
Well, apparently you don't have a problem with that because
that better
of
be
her
where
job.
it stops, though. You know, you want to look, that's fine. It better stop.
But
there,
you
though.
don't get pissed off because guys touch her.
Yeah, I know.
Guys-
And she used to dance before. When we first got together, we were dating, and we got married, and she was dancing then, and she came home to me.
Yeah, but guys are still touching her and,
Yeah, I
and getting
know.
thinking about her. And
Yeah, it's gross. But it's just a job. I know that for her, in her mind, it's not sexual.
How do you feel about knowing that she has bragged about her job to us? If you say it's just a job, why is she bragging about it?
Just try to validate it.
That's
Just try to
fair
validate
enough. That's fair enough.
She's not super proud of it.
Okay.
You know.
Right.
But she's doing what she thinks she has to do.
I don't know if she told you this, but I felt like she was like looking at the
she did
guy,
tell me that.
and that I would have expected her to grab you right in front of him and just hold you as tight as she could.
Nick,
and say,
she was staring at
"Nick,
him like
I
in
am
sadness the
sorry."
whole entire time he was in there. And you'll see that.
I would have expected her to
Tell me it was guilt.
But this is just me. This is
Yeah.
just me. I would have been grabbing John going, I'm so sorry. I love you. And I want this man to know I love you. I mean, like...
Yeah, I would have expressed a lot more to him.
I would have expressed a lot more to you that I love you, not this guy.
Because
he is
I
out
know
of my
she
life.
says her feelings. She's not...
No.
We're knowing you. She had no reason not to express the way she felt, you know? No reason at all.
Because you're like real good at listening to her say stuff. And
I've been trying.
God, I want to be in your head right now. I do. I want to know what the I'm not saying she's a bad person, but you got to stick up for yourself, man. Or she's going to run all over you. She gets to stand up for herself. Why can't you?
Yeah.
You know, that's not being controlling. That's just standing up for yourself. Remember the whole hero thing? There's got to be a hero in the relationship. You've got to be that. You've got to be a man before you can be a hero.
Tried to.
Even if you and Amanda don't work out, you came here, and when you move forward with your next relationship, you're not going to let anybody run over you.
Yeah.
Nick, you're blaming this whole everything going wrong on yourself, and you need to not do that. I don't know if it's just because you're here and you don't want her to feel bad or you're trying to keep her in your life, but you need to get some of that off your back because it's not all your fault.
It's not you.
Well, considering that everyone had so much talking they wanted to do, I decided to assign the couples an exercise that I just thought would be a whole lot more productive than the conversation that was going on at the pool. All right, couples, I've got a very important assignment for you. I call this having a friend at the factory. Husbands, I'm going to have you meet with the wives, but not yours. I want you to talk to them about a male perspective. Wives, I want you guys meeting with these husbands. You have been more vulnerable and know more about each other now than probably people you've known for 10 or 15 years. This is your chance to just share the male and female point of view. You're not an expert. You're not giving advice. You're just sharing your point of view.
I'm willing to try it because I do want to hear the male version. You know, there's times I don't understand why he does the things he does or says the things he says, but maybe now you guys can walk me through and help me understand.
I think it's good that we all interact together.
Talking to somebody who's actually been through it, I'm sure that our, opinions can help each other out.
Why is it when guys fly off the handle, they feel like they have the right to call women names?
It's more straight to the point for a guy instead of the bickering, arguing. Just go straight for the kill shot. Calling Tara a bitch hurts her. So that's why I do it. It's a thing to say, I guess, but it's the truth.
Do you guys realize that when you say these things, they stay in us for a really long time?
I think what it is, part of it is like, puts that wall between us and you.
She is so dramatic. Everything is overreacted. Explain that to me.
I think that she really does need attention.
Okay.
I know that when I'm dramatic, I want attention. I think that the way that you can solve that is just, show her a little bit more.
And patience.
Yeah, patience is a big part of it.
Well, I said to Amanda to realize, I don't want her dancing. I mean, without seeming controlling.
I would approach it to her like, I don't want you doing it anymore because I feel it's not right for my wife to be sat there and looked at and touched. You have that right. How would she like it if you were out there taking all your stuff off and doing this with women?
You can't approach her and say, Amanda, look, I don't like your job and I want you to quit.
Right.
It's baby steps with her, you know, just like it is with Scott and John.
Sometimes I'm grouchy and I just need my space.
I would imagine the guy is feeling extremely insecure right now. Don't take us the wrong way, but not only are you a dancer, you're having an affair. I mean, I'd be crushed. Maybe that's what he needs to make him feel better, is have to be touching you or holding you or with you or, you know, up your I'm sure is how you look at it.
And you have to respect that because
absolutely,
Nick, he loves you. His mind is not focused.
Why do you think that Scott feels like he needs to go out and drink with his buddies at least twice a week?
I just think it's a guy thing and have a couple drinks once in a while.
It's kind of an escape from, and not just from you and your daughter, but from work. Why does she throw a fit when I drink with my buddies?
Does she get the chance to be able to go do that?
No.
I think that it wouldn't bother her as much if maybe she got that opportunity.
Give her that same thing, because then she won't feel like she's trapped and she isn't equal.
Coming up, the group faces its toughest challenge yet.
Nobody understands. It feels like no matter how hard I work, I'm still being trampled on. I feel like I'm trash.
I want everything around me destroyed. The wall's up. I want the wall down.
Across this great country, from coast to coast, you've told me about the crossroads we're facing. That's exactly why I wrote We've Got Issues, How You Can Stand Strong for America's Soul and Sanity. This book isn't just a conversation starter. It's a roadmap for standing strong in the face of adversity, for embracing our core values when they're needed most. We're talking about real strategies for real people dealing with real issues, from navigating the complexities of today's polarized world to fortifying our families. And I set forth in the book 10 principles that I think are critical for a healthy society. This is not about politics. I'm not a politician, don't want to be a politician, don't know enough about politics to talk about it. But I talk about every angle of life as we know it, from family and relationships to the burning issues that are shaping our world today. We've got issues, how you can stand strong for America's soul and sanity. And you'll find it anywhere books are sold. It's about time we start addressing what truly matters.
Sergeant and Mr. Smith, you're gonna love this house.
Bunk beds in a closet?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
We now return to Man Camp in the Dr. Phil house.
We're going to play a game called What Do You Want? One of you is going to be standing facing the group. If you're standing, I want you to tell the other 5 members what it is that you truly want and need in your life. And those 5 of you that are sitting there, when you finally know and believe that they are coming from their heart, stand up for them. Each of you are going to take a turn. Give it your all.
I have a hard time speaking my mind because I'm afraid. And that's the first thing I want to say is I want to stop being afraid to speak what I feel. I want to stop being afraid of doing something wrong and being verbally abused. It hurts. It hurts so bad that the person that you love the very most isn't there to support you. I need someone in my life to support me, to hold my hand and listen to me when I need to be heard. I want to feel like I'm worth something. I want to feel like I'm loved and that I'm respected. And I want to feel like I can be safe in my own home.
What I want is to see my wife in the morning happy. I want to wake up and I want to go to bed with my wife. And I want my kids to realize that, hey, I got a father that cares. I didn't know the word love, and I still haven't learned until I got here. That's been our problem. I mean, I haven't stared in her. I haven't looked at the... You do have blue eyes. I realized it this week. I mean, I'm just saying, I've never stared in her eyes, and it's coming from my heart. I just want to have a normal life and not have to worry about what's going to happen today, what the fight's going to be about. I want to feel happy, free, and live day to day like a wife and husband should do.
Something I really want in my life is to be happy. And I haven't been happy in a long time. And I don't think that's fair. I think I deserve happiness. I think that sometimes I can be selfish, and sometimes it's okay for me to do what I want to do to make myself happy. I wake up in the mornings and it's a dreadful day because I get called these names and I feel like I'm judged, and I feel like I want to feel like somebody loves me.
I want peace, because I feel from peace I can fix every other thing that's wrong in my life. I try my hardest to give peace, and I feel like it's a wasted effort every time I try it. And that makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like to give up trying to have peace. That's why I'm so angry. The bickering, the fighting, and the yelling, the screaming, the name-calling, everything. I can't express myself anymore because I'm afraid of what's going to happen when I do. You know, that I'm going to get on because I didn't say the right thing. And it hurts. I think peace within myself and in my marriage would fix every problem that I have.
What I want? Sometimes I think I want everything around me destroyed. I want everyone's perfect little life that they put on. I want it all gone because I don't have that. I don't have that. I have this anger inside, and I want that gone. It brews inside. I don't know where it comes from. I want it gone. The anger destroys you. It makes you want to destroy everything around you. It makes you play the game with everyone. You can't let anyone get close. No one can be inside. I want everyone out. The wall's up. I want the wall down. I want you in.
I want to be held too. I want to be told I'm pretty too, and I want to be told that I am a good mother, and that I want to be told that when I work my butt off doing what I do, that it's recognized that I am doing it because I love my family, and I just don't want them to suffer. I want them to have everything. I want them to have security. It feels like nobody understands. It feels like no matter how hard I work, I'm still being trampled on. I feel like I'm trash. I don't want to feel like that. I'm a good person. I want to know that I'm cherished. My experience was a good experience. It was very emotional and hard for me to tell them how I feel.
It really hurt hearing what my wife had to say. It hurt because I always want to protect someone and make someone feel special, and I haven't done that. We're all human beings. We all want the same thing. They want peace. They want happiness. We just want to be calm and tranquil. Where do we get that?
It was very emotional, and we told what we want. It's about us now. I can honestly say that I'm impacted by every single person in this house now. What Scott had to say, I honestly believe that he wants peace.
It was very intense, but it's good to hear what everybody wants and everybody needs, that you can relate everything to yourself and try to get something positive out of it. You know, I kind of see better now where Tara's coming from. She wants to be treated like a woman. She wants to be happy, so I have to work on that.
It was hard. It was emotional, but it brought everybody together. The emotions came out. I know Sherry needs more from me, and I'm going to fix this. I guarantee you that.
When I came in here earlier, I was so scared. I just had this feeling I was going to go first for some reason. I'm glad that I did. This was the most intense thing that we've all gone through this week.
Coming up, Dr. Phil issues a challenge to Sherry and John.
You need to have a serious talk with your son. You have a critical and judgmental spirit.
That right there just broke my heart.
This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
Welcome to another round of Boardroom or Miro Board. Today we talk retrospectives with Agile coach Maria. Let's go. First question. You've spent 2 hours in a team retro, but the only input you've heard is Dave's. Boardroom or Miro Board?
Boardroom. In Miro, Dave can't hog the space because everyone can add thoughts anonymously, online at the same time.
Correct. Next, you need the team to act on feedback fast. So you turn all those retro notes into Jira tasks.
Miro all the way. And I can assign those tasks to teammates.
You're nailing this. Now, you see hundreds of sticky notes from the retro. A real mess. But you organize them into 5 themes in just seconds.
Miro, I basically get back an entire hour when I use its AI tools for clustering.
And she's done it.
For a limited time, visit Miro.com/retro now for a free business plan trial to unlock advanced retro tools like private mode, voting, and two-way Jira syncing. That's Miro.com/retro now.
To see more of this week's Dr. Phil House guest, log on to drphil.com and click on the Dr. Phil House.
We now return to Dr. Phil's Man Camp.
All of the couples admitted to getting in knockdown, drag-out fights. Their arguments involved everything from name-calling to slashing tires and often happened in front of the children. So, on their final day in the Dr. Phil House, I talked to them about the rules of fighting so their relationships did not end in divorce. And I gave them a very important message from their children. Most people go into an argument or a disagreement with the goal of convincing the other person to see it their way, right? I mean, that's what we do. I mean, that's what we argue about. I want you to agree with me. I want you to agree to do the bills differently. I want you to agree to parent differently. I want you to agree you're being too hard, you're being too easy on our little one, you're this or that. I want you to agree with me. I want you to change one thing in your disagreements. I want you to change your objective. Just try it. That your objective is that you be heard. You know, we disagree on this. I want to be sure that you hear my point of view. And I want to hear yours, and then we can step back and reflect on it. Not that you agree with me, it's just that I want you to be sure that you truly understand what I think and why I think it. And volume to your voice has nothing to do with being heard. You're going to have disagreements, and when you do, take it private and keep it private. And if you live in a 1,500 square foot house, nowhere's private. You gotta get a babysitter. Could you come over? We need to go fight. But don't do it in front of the kids. It changes who they are. So you gotta take it private and keep it private from the very beginning. If you're in an argument and you say, well, it's just like last summer when we were at your mother's. Whoa, wait a minute, last summer? Let's keep it in the moment here. You work the problem. You don't assassinate character. If the fight ends with character assassination, name-calling, derogation, demeaning, that marriage will end in divorce. Because anybody that has any backbone, any spine, any self-worth, any self-esteem at all will get to the point where they'll say, I'd rather be healthy alone than sick with you. And I've told y'all what I think you need to do. I think you have a critical and judgmental spirit, but you got to be willing to bury that and take the risk of being vulnerable again. And, you know, the real beneficiaries here are not here. You four have children so young that they can't really say what they think, but your kids are old enough. Take a look at the kids.
My parents fight a lot. It makes me feel unhappy.
You yell in front of us.
Sometimes when my dad yells, I see that, how my brother is starting to, how it's affecting him, because he'll yell at me the same way.
would just like them to get along.
That right there just broke my heart.
No, we got to go back to that.
Children learn what they live. If they live with criticism, they learn self-hatred. If they live with violence, they learn insecurity. If they live with chaos, they learn confusion. We have such a powerful opportunity for our kids to come out and say, they just won the parent lottery. I have two rules with kids. One is I never ask children to be responsible for something they can't control, and never burden them with adult issues. You can't, that's a horrible thing to do to children. So when I say that take it private and keep it private, you need to do that, but you do need to sit down with those kids and just tell them, look, we made some serious errors here, and we're committed to learning to do this better. And you need to have a serious talk with your son about you've given him misinformation. Do not let him live with a legacy of bad attitude towards women. You need to talk to him about that. If you did nothing but leave here with a wake-up call about what you put on your children every day, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And I can just tell all of you, I'm a better person for having been involved with y'all. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Scott and Tara have a very beautiful little girl. We got to see pictures of our kids, which was very nice. I was very excited to see them. I was very glad that everyone else got to see our children. And then we saw pictures of John and Sherry's children. And John and Sherry's children, they were pretty upset with their parents, and I could see that that's where our children would be in 10 years from now if we don't change our ways.
We got to watch a film of our children, and Sherry and John's kids were the only two that are old enough to talk, and it was very hurtful hearing the things that they had to say about their parents. It's just heartbreaking. And I'm going to be the woman that I need to be to make this relationship work. I'm going to be the best mother that I can possibly be, because that's what my daughter needs.
I knew coming into this that it was affecting our kids and that I was being verbally abused, and to watch your kids on TV and see what they're saying about your mom and dad fighting, words cannot express that. I needed to see it. Upset everybody in that room, and they don't know who my kids are. It tells the whole story in itself.
We're leaving today. I met with Dr. Phil for last time, though. He reiterated that the person that really pays is our kids. We saw a video of all the kids, and that really puts it home, puts it to heart. But I'm glad I stuck around. I'm glad I stayed. The program is working. Try to keep it going when we get home. But so far, so good.
Coming up.
Does your house ever look like this? You think mine has? You think I'd live here? I'd move the and sell the house.
It seems that I've come full circle now, to be able to sit here calmly and talk like a normal person instead of yelling and cussing.
People are thinking out there, you guys were in a house for 5-6 days, how can that change you? It changes you.
If you would like to purchase a tape or transcript of your favorite Dr. Phil show, log on to drphil.com or call 866-4-DR-PHIL. That's 866-437-7445. 866-437-7445. We now return to Man Camp in the Dr. Phil house.
Today we're leaving the house, and I feel very excited. I mean, this is a man that I love very much, so I know that the qualities and things are there. I don't have to inspect and make sure he's the right one. I just have to learn to trust to love him again.
Before I came here, my marriage was over.
If you want this marriage to survive, then you got to quit stripping.
I felt like people were judging me.
I would ride a bike before I'd be a stripper. Good for you. How can you sit there and
Let
judge
me tell you something real quick, Amanda. I've been at rock bottom. I know what rock bottom's like.
That was the cover of my book, that I'm a dancer. They weren't looking at who I really am.
How much more do you have to dig? Do you not see that I regret what I've done? Have you not seen the shame that I have?
And who I really am is I'm a very devoted mother that will do anything for my children, anything.
If I had another job, I promise I'd take it like that. I would do whatever I could for my family.
When I go home, I'm going to call my work and I'm going to tell them that I'm not going to be returning and for personal reasons, and that's it.
Now my marriage has a chance.
The biggest change in Nick is that now when I ask him what he's thinking or feeling, he answers.
I think my wife learned, similar to what I learned about her. She got to see inside of me and learn what my fears are and my needs are. You know what? Stay out of her life completely. Emails, phones, smoke signals. You know, are you laughing? You think it's funny?
Oh,
you think it's funny? Now I'm starting to get real pissed. You see her walk down the street, you walk the other way.
I feel like I have the tools to proceed and make this marriage work now. We've come a long way. We're falling in love.
I think my wife and I are a better place now than we've ever been in a relationship. I feel closer to her now than I ever have.
I hope we go to like this fabulous suite somewhere with a jacuzzi. And when I go home, Nick and I have both discussed that we are going to do a family outing and just really enjoy each other. I know that there's probably gonna be a lot more flirting, a lot more hugging and kissing between him and I think that the kids will really be happy to see him and I hugging and kissing on each other.
I'm gonna behave differently now when we go home. Instead of fighting, and be the hero.
Dr. Phil, thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity. Thank you for allowing us to stay.
I'd like to thank Dr. Phil for giving us a chance, for giving our kids a chance and giving our family a chance, and for giving us hope.
I figured Dr. Phil was going to sit down with all the couples and said, you're going to make it, you're going to make it. You two, just throw in the towel, you're done. Did I say that you treated my mom like...
Get away from me.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
That you treated my mom like...
Get out of here.
See, you treat me like...
I thought my marriage was done.
I'm afraid of you. You know what? I'm going to tell you what.
Don't exaggerate. That's all I'm
right
asking.
now, I'm going to say this. If this does not work this week and we cannot get real and get past this, I'm done. I'm completely done. I'm walking away and I'm done.
That's good.
I feel like a ton has been lifted off my shoulders. I feel like I'm free now.
My highest point in the Dr. Phil show was that I learned more about myself and learned more about Sherry.
I'm going to work on myself with my judgments, you know, and judging people, and John's going to work on his anger problem.
I'm sorry your mom ain't got a smile on her face for what I did to her today, because it was great in my heart. To you, nothing's great, I guess.
Let her throw his little fit over there and tell me I'm not justified for this.
I think the world of you, Phil, and you know that that is fake. Best piece of advice that I got from Dr. Phil was to not worry about what Sherry's problems are, worry about what my problems are.
It's not just about ourselves. It's about our family. And our family has to come first.
I can't wait to get home to see the kids and give them a big old hug and
I know.
Relax, kick back, and start a new life.
I love that man so much. And I know he loves me enough that we can both work on making this right.
The hardest thing that I had to hear from Dr. Phil was for him to get up and point his finger at me and tell me nobody calls her wife a bitch. No woman should have that in their life. They don't deserve it. He was right. On a scale, 1 to 10, 10 being the best, on my marriage when I arrived here was a 2. Now that when I leave here, I would say it's probably about a 7, but I'm going to work towards a 10.
Dr. Phil, you gave us the confidence to go on, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to prove it to you that we're going to do it. You know, people are thinking out there, if you guys were in a house for 5-6 days, you know, how can that change you? It changes you.
Well, I think it's very appropriate that we're here in the kitchen, considering the initial meltdown happened here. Does your house ever look like this? You think mine has? Think I'd live here? I'd move the out and sell the house. It seems that I've come full circle now. To be able to sit here calmly and talk like a normal person instead of yelling and cussing.
When I walked into the Dr. Phil house, I was a very, very angry, negative person.
Because you're a Scott, you're a you can't
Oh, there
handle
you go.
it. You
that's
cannot,
a goal. Keep talking, Sarah. Keep running your mouth.
Hey, I'm done. You move my while I'm gone.
The hardest thing for me to hear from Dr. Phil was that I didn't know how to shut up.
Why do you say you would do anything for him when you know that it's absolutely not true? You won't shut up.
I'd heard it a million times, but it didn't really hit me until he said it.
My highest point this week was our date. It was our first date ever.
The date was a high point because I've never got to experience that. We were walking out on the pier, and I told him, I was like, Scott, let's walk out here and let's make a pact to each other to leave the Scott and Tara that we dislike so much. We turned around and came back, and we left those people behind.
Before I came here, I'd given up. It seemed like there was no fixing what was going on. Now I kind of feel like, you know, things have been rekindled. I'm going to go home and create a new history.
Some things that I'm going to do different when I get home is I want to put my child in a much healthier environment. I want her to notice that her mom and dad are two different people coming back there. I want to be the best partner that I can be to Scott. I want him to be happy that he's with me. Scott is the man that I want to spend the rest of my life with. I couldn't picture spending the rest of my life with anybody else.
Dr. Phil, thank you for not giving up on me too quick. You know, I absolutely respect what you have to say. Didn't mean any disrespect by what I did or many of my actions here. Thank you very much for helping me and my family. And I believe you that you do really care. Thanks.
I told Nick and Amanda straight up that their marriage would not survive unless she stopped stripping.
We have no food in our fridge. Katrina's out of diapers.
Find out if she quit her job.
I'm ready to do what needs to be done.
And what deception from Sherry's past is John still trying to get over?
Am I always going to serve a lifelong sentence?
Is John back to his old ways?
I didn't feel good about what I did.
And
there's some things that I didn't tell Dr. Phil that I regret.
When Scott left here, he knew he had a problem with rage. Now a new problem's come up. Are you an alcoholic?
I don't wake up in the morning and crack open a bottle of whiskey. I live in Texas. We do that. That's what we do.
Who made their marriage work, and which couple may be done for good?
Is it possible y'all are just incompatible?
When Dr. Phil pulled me aside and it was just me and him, it, you know, just reiterated that he really did care.
I want to thank Dr. Phil for giving me the opportunity first to come here. I mean, this is an amazing experience.
I'm definitely not the person I was when I walked through the door a week ago. Dr. Phil's given me plenty of tools to help me and work on my anger.
The new Tara is going to be just a much happier person. I'm going to make everybody around me happy. I'm going to give Scott all the love and attention that he needs.
I'm going to behave differently now when we go home. Take the time to stop and really listen to what she's saying, listen to her feelings.
I learned during the course of the week not to judge everything Nick has to say right that second, to listen to him and hear what he has to say. And if it does affect me emotionally, to take the time to collect my thoughts and remember how much I love him.
At what point did I turn the corner for the good? It was when Sherry and I were talking with Dr. Phil alone. And I felt things that he told me and told Sherry that made so much sense, and I learned a lot.
When John walked in this house, he had no trust in me at all. Now leaving the house, he's laughing again, he's making jokes, he's being sincere. He'll stop me and just give me a hug. He's the John I fell in love with.